So, COVID-19 rolls in, changes so many things about what normal life is for us. What has the experience been like for you?
COVID-19 just in general is like this ultimate test of how to adapt in life. It's one of those things that hit the whole world equally at the same time, and you really find out what people are made of through COVID-19. They're forced to respond, they're forced to make adjustments. And what we find is that there are people that are set in the ways that used to be. There are people that are actively living in the moment. And there are people that are thinking about how to adapt through the process for the future. So COVID for me has just been an exercise for adaptation, just changing and evolving and being ready to respond to the external landscape.
When it first hit, um, your restaurant, Honey's Kettle, were you strongly involved in e-commerce?
No, absolutely not. When COVID hit, it was just this incredible story of waking up everybody. Everybody just all of a sudden realized that this moment was real and that at any moment one of us could get sick, and a week later you never know what would happen. So the way we responded to COVID was like, wait a minute, like we can't just be passive, when it comes to the restaurant. We all kind of band arms together and said, we got to make this thing work. Immediately when COVID hit, sales dropped. People were afraid to come in. If you can remember, it was this bum rush to the grocery store with these incredible lines. And that impacts all, restaurants around the city. And it really hit us hard. And we were already at that point where every decision that we made was critical to the business. There was a lot of pressure, a lot of, external factors outside of us that, made it challenging leading up to COVID. Then when COVID hit, it was like, what are we gonna do? So we all came together and we said, this is mission critical. We all need to bring our talents, our skill sets to the business and figure out a way to adapt. We quickly realized that our on-demand business, where delivering to customers at their house, would serve really well. We're better than tacos, we're better than burgers. Our food traveled really well. So we put a lot of emphasis on getting to the customer where they are.
Now, that's the biggest knock for black business, that they're not nimble.
Right.
You know, a moment like this, you close your door, people are used to coming in with cash and paying. Those are your customers. You may not even have a website. Your phone number you may never answer, okay?
Yeah.
And so how did you continue the communication stream with your client base?
Well, the good thing is we had a decent foundation, right? Like we were already on the apps because we had enough volume in the store to justify it, and they came to us. In all honesty, if they didn't come to us, we probably wouldn't have made the adjustment to go in that direction. So we were doing a decent amount of volume already, but if I'm, mom and pop restaurant, the thing that we always have to think about is what are the times right now? Like how are people consuming products and things like that? So luckily we were in a position to be able to adapt. Our website hadn't been changed since probably the 90s. It's the same old website. There was no technology. The photos were all in these random places, and it was a bunch of redundancy in the communication. And we just did a full overhaul on our website through this whole COVID process because we wanted people to understand very clearly what it is that we do. We are a symbol of quality. That is absolutely the cornerstone of everything that we've done. Yeah, if we're still working on customer service, that's okay. If we're still working on communications and marketing and all the ways to promote the business, that's okay. But one thing that has always been the cornerstone, for our business at least, has just been the quality of the food. So we focused a lot on that. Now we're in a position where everyone has enough skills to be able to bring to the table to round out the holistic approach to a restaurant, which is you got to be good on technology. You got to be able to communicate directly to your customers. You need to have search engine optimization, all the technology aspects of it that all tie into the business. So it's important to be aware of what's going on and how your consumers are, because it's that same concept with COVID. It's like, some people are forever going to live on how yesterday was, but we don't believe in that philosophy. We believe in moving with the times and maintaining some of the core elements of our business.
Now, you're a husband and a father, and everything is online now. What has that experience been like for you? Were you already set up with the high-speed internet and all that and devices for your children?
Yeah, hey, listen, I'm old school. I'm old school through and through. So we have all that stuff. I try to discourage it as much as we can. Yeah, I'm a husband and a father, and I'm trying to navigate 2020. I got my kids on screens already. Now they have to go to school on a screen too. Something about that just doesn't feel right. So every opportunity I get, I try to talk to my son about how to build a soapbox go-kart, or take him on a hike and go teach him how to skip a rock. I think all of those things are incredibly important because technology is already embedded in our life in so many different ways. But as a father navigating this time, you realize that technology is like this force that's like infiltrating our life and our culture and every aspect. And we're in it, we get it. But I'd like to be as consistent with the way that we used to do things, which is you look at somebody in the eye and you have a conversation. You stand on your own 2 feet, you carry yourself a certain way. All those things typically can get lost with technology, but we get it, we're in it. But it's different being a father in 2020 for sure.
Now, during this period, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor,
Yeah.
long list of hashtags. And I chose to do this session in front of the American flag.
Yeah.
Because there are black folk who don't feel they have ownership of this. I feel we do own this. Mm-hmm. We just need it to be better for us, treat us better. We want the laws to protect us more. We want an opportunity to be there for us.
Yeah.
And so speak to Black Lives Matter, what you feel about this country and what we need to do to bring about a better way of life for all of us.
Yeah, this is something that I struggle with because I think of my communication style and the way that I communicate things to my children, because I'm a father and that's absolutely the core of who I am. And when I talk to my kids about things like this, I break things down in terms of past, present, and future. It's kind of a consistent theme that guides me. And acknowledgement of the past is absolutely a critical part of this process. Right. There's no doubt that the challenges that have gone on in America since we've landed off of these ships, or however you got here, have been rooted in just some dark things that are in the closet that have been swept under the rug for years and years and years. I think what we're experiencing now is the acknowledgement phase of it. The acknowledgement phase is a critical piece of the puzzle. But from acknowledgement, it takes a few thought leaders to figure out how to convert, to figure out where the opportunity is for growth. We still feel it, it doesn't go away, but when I think about the American flag, I think about all the things that have accumulated to getting us to this point where we have to scream Black Lives Matter the way that we have to right now to get people to pay attention. We have to be in a position to respond to any, issues of brutality and all these things in a way where we lock arms together and make a major statement. All of that, is incredibly important in the process. But I believe that, through that process of acknowledgement, it's important to convert over to figuring out where the opportunity is for growth. I think as African Americans in our country, there's a lot of things we've always done well. We've mastered the arts. We've mastered the arts, the culinary arts, the entertainment arts, the actual painting and sculptures. We've understood the art thing. We also understand community better than a lot of other cultures do. We understand how communities come together and support this whole system that is what we call culture. So with art and community, there is just this wealth of opportunity to be able to convert to something that becomes tangible, like a business, right? And it takes leaders to step up and say, you know, here's the real opportunity, and here's how we take all this goodwill and all this equity that we have in art and culture and community, and we convert it into a business opportunity. So when I think about the American flag as we sit today, I see us at this pivotal point where we're converting from acknowledgement, and the more things get acknowledgement, the less it's easy to sweep things under the rug. You know, there's civil unrest in Wisconsin today, you know, and that's because these issues that we've been dealing with are still happening. And because we're acknowledging it in such a powerful way, and as a group right now, it's tough for that to continue to happen the way it's been happening. It's only going to last so long. But as we go through this process, it's time to start converting to the opportunity. What, you know, hey, listen, America is got a ton of flaws, but it has a ton of opportunities. You know, we are one of the only places on earth where you can mix culture from all over the world. You can mix backgrounds, you can mix art, you can mix technology, and all these contributions that are flooded here that are typically kind of held close to vest. There is a way that we can have a place in all of that and convert it into an opportunity that builds wealth in our communities, that builds better structured. You know, hey, I can talk about this for hours, but I will say this for certain. You know, our system is set up in a way where it's going to be tough for us to succeed, you know. But one thing that we do better than any other culture, in my personal opinion, is live in this space of tenacity. We're going to figure it out, you know. We're going to figure it out, and it may not always look pretty, but we're going to make the best of it. You know, we find ways to smile through the pain. We find ways to laugh when things are incredibly serious. And we always have found a way to persevere, you know, regardless of what we've been up against. And, you know, we're not enslaved right now, you know, so that's progress. And it took however long it took to get us to this point. But I wonder, and I'm looking for a world in which we are seeking the thing that we want and creating the steps to get there for the future.
Now, some of the people who see this video will say, I saw that brother in that Pharrell and Jay-Z cut. How did that come about?
Wow.
Because I know Calmatic did it. You know,
Yeah.
You know him personally?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Calmatic is, I call him Chuck, you know, with all due respect. He is a legend in the Los Angeles community. You know, my brother and Chuck are best friends and have always been best friends. My brother was the best man in Chuck's wedding. My brother is the godfather of Chuck's first baby. He is family. You know, he's worked at our restaurant when he was in high school for a day or so, and got the flavor of it. And we had this conversation yesterday. We were in the middle of this conversation where Calmatic and I were speaking about a few things, and I just kind of got a kick out of it because he was humbly talking about his relationships and how this whole entrepreneur video came together and some of the decisions that he made and who to highlight. You know, it's very tough. He knows everyone in LA, right? It's like, who do you pick? So he was a little bit concerned about the bias factor, but you know, he zoomed out and thought like, hey, no, wait a minute. You know, we're everything that we do in LA is different. It's dope. It's unique. It's got flavor. It's got this different vibe that is also rooted in content. And our story, our family story, I mean, hey, it is an all-American story about
Compton,
survival.
baby.
From Compton, baby, East Compton, by Kelly Park, if you really know the streets like that. And, you know, I can tell you, I learned how to sweep in the restaurant. I learned how to clean toilets in the restaurant. I learned how to communicate with people at the cash register. I saw all different types of people from all different types of communities come to our place, and I'll I'll tell you what, it's tenacity. I don't think there's a better all-American entrepreneur story than the story of my family, especially at this moment in time when all odds are against us and we came together as a family. So Chuck will humbly say, yeah, we know each other. We're like family. We're like blood almost. But, you know, I think we had a unique place because we represented the family dynamic and the value that brings to entrepreneurship. So we were honored to be in the video. It was the dopest thing ever to see, you know, the faces and the colors. And
From Sev to you.
it's just so special.
Amazing, man.
So special.
But, so how can people get their bellies full?
Oh, yeah, we got that set up pretty well right now. We are visionaries, right? By nature, you know, just getting to this point, everything about Honey's Kettle is a product of a vision. And our vision was that, you know, our consumers were changing and we wanted to be able to get to our consumers as fast as we could. So there's a couple of ways to get our incredible fresh fried chicken, the similar quality that we rave about, which is our downtown Culver City location, which is the heart of Main and Main, right across the street from where Amazon Studios' big content studio is going to be, HBO's 250,000 square foot facility is going to be where they're going to do office and content. Same with Apple. We're right there in Main and Main in downtown Culver City at 9537 Culver Boulevard. That is our brick and mortar location. But our vision and our innovation has been through our Honey's Drop Kitchen, which is our on-demand satellite locations where we're delivery or pickup only. And we have developed this hub and spoke mentality where our core brick and mortar location at 9537 Culver Boulevard is right smack dead in the center of the city. Our Honey Drop locations are dropped around in different locations where we're effectively a commercial kitchen and we're delivering that same quality of product that you see in Culver City to different areas around the city. So we just opened up downtown LA for our Honey Drop Kitchen, and we're opening up our Hollywood location on Labor Day weekend, so this weekend. So there's that. And then now we have our e-commerce store where we're selling merchandise, our world famous pancakes, biscuit, and waffle mix. We have that's on demand through our e-commerce store. So we're doing a ton of stuff to get to the customers as quickly as we can. And you know, we're a lifestyle company in the food space, a family lifestyle company in the food space with incredible understanding of technology. So our position is we're getting to our customers wherever they are, whether it's COVID, whatever it is. You know, we're going to get to you as quickly as we can. So
Now, this is a funny way to end this, but I knew your parents for years before I met you.
yeah,
And I don't know how you figured out that I was a photographer, but we did an amazing session for your engagement in this same space.
yes,
And it was ridiculous.
yes.
And then flash forward to your wedding, which was at the top of the Culver City stairs for everybody who wants to work out and work off that Honey's Kettle chicken, right?
Oh yeah.
And that was the dopest wedding.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, it's hot and windy
yeah.
and crazy, but that right there is probably an example of what perseverance looks like. Because you
Absolutely.
guys made it look good. You made it look good in spite of what the weather was, you know?
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
so that's what we're trying to do right now. And I when you said that you would come here and be part of this, I was like, oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah. I have to. Your family, you know, like that's one thing that we do with this community thing is we know what people do. And I don't have to, you knew my parents forever,
Yeah.
right? And I found you through other relationships. And that's our community. That's what we got to do, right? Like is figure out who, you know, has the lemon tree in the backyard and then figure out who's, you know, harvesting peppers. And we all figure out how to come together at the table and make a meal out of it. So, hey, you're one of the best in the business. There's no doubt about it. And it's so special to see you work, man, because you respond. You're an energy guy, man. You exchange the energy, and I know I'm very honored to be here, you know, speaking with you because I know we're putting out an energy that's something that the world needs right now, which is,
Indeed.
you know, how do we figure this thing out? You know, what should we think? What should we be thinking right now? What should we be doing? So I think the answer to that question is the same thing that happened at the wedding, which was, hey, it's windy, you know, it's 95 degrees, you got people sweating, and you got vases breaking and all kind of the stuff that happened, but we got to be in a position to pivot. You know, we got to adjust, we got to adapt. And I think that that's a unique skill set about us as people. And I love it when it comes out. And COVID is a great opportunity for it to come out. Black Lives Matter is an even better opportunity for that to come out. Because now we're starting to understand what we all do and what we can contribute to the table.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Now
Thank
let's
you.
get to this damn photo shoot.
Let's do it.